Great day, my beloved. There is a difference between a miracle and a miracle. A miracle is a sudden act. It is surprising. It appears in a flash, and sometimes it disappears just as quickly as it had arrived. A miracle touches the surface of life. It lifts us for a moment. It gives us hope when hope is thin. But yet, a miracle, America, that is deeper. A miracle is not passing, it is permanent. It is not just an event, it is an identity. It does not visit for a season, it abides for generations. A miracle is like rain falling from heaven. A miracle is like the river that never runs dry. A miracle feeds the moment. A miracle sustains the soul. That is what America is. Not merely a miracle of freedom long ago, but miracle planted with purpose, watered with sacrifice, and kept alive by knowing. This nation was not just blessed, it was called to be a light, called to be a refuge, called to stand when others fall. A miracle, a miracle is more than a wonder. It is responsibility. It whispers to every heart, this is your inheritance. Guard it, live it, honor it. So when we say America is a miracle, we mean she is not a fading light, a fading gift. She is a covenant. She is not a passing chance. She is a destiny. As long as we walk in that knowing before God, this miracle will not die because miracles can pass, but miracle endures. And I will stick this up probably under the descriptions. I would edit this, and that way everybody has the words to this speech because it's critical. Okay, let me see. Let me turn my camera around because you want to see me. So this is an important speech because we are in a unique country. We're in a unique place of freedom, of peace, of love. This country was built on love. And if we allow the adversaries to have their way, hey, hey, shh, shh, shh. If we allow the adversaries to have their way, they will pit us against each other. They will use psychology in a way that they've already started using it. They already started pitting people against each other. They do the work of the devil. Of course, we all know this. They're doing the devil's work. Um, the reason why people are having such a hard time digesting Candace is she's growing. Hey, General Mosquito, she's growing. She's a growing person. I mean, she lives her life out in public, but we all grow. And she's just an average person um, who doesn't mind putting themselves on the ledges or going for what they want. I'm gonna put it like that. And she has went for what she wanted in life, and without caution. Her past has been sketchy, but all of us have sketchy pasts. So what she has done is she doesn't realize is what we typically say, soldiers sold to the devil. The devil has lifted her up. She could have did it on her own, no problem, but money is a problem and economics is always an issue for us. Hey, family. So that's why I said the devil is always enticing people and for his foot soldiers to be his foot soldiers. But people will wake up. People will recognize and realize, and that's where Candace is. She's learning. She's growing. She made mistakes. But let's hope but what we're seeing is ourselves. See yourself through her. Give her a chance. That's what I'm saying. Because what is happening, we cannot let anything separate us at this point. Like I said, Trump is surrounded. Of course, he's very much surrounded by religious nuts. I'm just going to put it like that. And that's another weakness. I've talked about these things long time ago. I don't know a lot of my videos because I do not accept the devil's money, and I try to do things on my own. But I have allowed the devil to stop me in my life and to hinder me in my life of moving forward and doing the things I need to do. Right. So the devil hits my personal hardworking money. I allowed the devil to do that to me. And, but like I said, we make mistakes in life. We're human and we're trying to rise above. We're living our lives and learning. Gratefully, we are actually able to see someone like Candace live their life and learn and grow, because there's some people that are like her that would go out and seek and we all do that. We all don't realize that we can do it on our own, and we always could do it on our own until it's too late, right? Until it's too late. But the thing about it is, what's important now, the most important thing is to keep love in your heart and peace in your mind, because he's seeking to destroy our miracle, a miracle. And we cannot allow that. Someone once said that just look at what is happening in England is a testament to what is coming soon to come to us. And And I say we cannot allow these things to happen to us. We seriously cannot allow these things to happen to us. We have to get up, stand up, and represent for our freedom that was so hard fought for, our the gifts, the present that we were given, which is the land. We cannot be weak. And part of being weak is allowing religion to dictate to you that there's one God. There is one God, but not in the way that they want you to think of it. It's not a human with hands that reach down. No, this God is in every living thing. I'm going to say it again. This God is in every living thing. Even the dog that was just barking, my neighbor's dog. God is in every living thing. What I've realized and I recognized is that God is in everything. It is experiencing life, living, every living thing, plant, trees, everything. And it's not just one place that it dwells. We cannot stick it in our boxes. We cannot say it told us that we are chosen only. Oh no, we can say that, but we can't say it for the masses. We can't say it for the masses because I do not want people following me like I'm something holy, like I'm a holy grail. No. Mm-mm. My God got me doing my job. Your God got you doing what you need to be doing, your part. You see what I'm saying? We all have responsibilities. We all are one family. Everything has its purpose. I learned that the spider, I think it is, there's a spider that protects the bird's eggs. I think I might have to look into that more and get back with you on that. But I was like shocked that something so small has that great of purpose. And it can, spiders can, luckily, that explains why they can go into trees and make their net, make their webs high or what do they do? Yeah, that is kind of neat when you think about it. But like I said, can't fall for the okey doke. People, to me, Israel, when they took that land, they did no different than Jim Jones. Jim Jones took land, went to a country, and he had followers follow him, and then he had them drink juice. And he did all kinds of horrible things to the people. So if we're not careful, then what can happen to us is the same thing that is happening in England now. And it's coming to a theater near us. And we don't want that to happen. But these Zionists got Trump surrounded by Zionists, but I call them religious freaks because their whole life is guided by something they think the Bible is saying, but it's not saying. And because the Christ, the way I explain the Christ, is definitely within us. The Christ is definitely within us. But we have to acknowledge that. And once we acknowledge that, yeah, you're gonna be the chosen. You're gonna be a chosen because you're living your purpose and you're living life out the way you're supposed to live your life. You're doing what you're contributing your part you're supposed to contribute to the world. So you got to question, what is these people who call themselves Jews contributing? That need I say more? Need I say more? Just look at Shakespeare and what he says about the Jews, the Jews. The J never existed. The J never existed past the 20s. We just didn't talk the way we talk now. Things did get translated, and when things got translated, it was translated to benefit the deep state, the devil, his children, not us. And I'm not saying that all people in Israel, no, the people in Israel are suffering too. The people in Israel are suffering, especially the black Jews, people that call themselves Jews. I'm so glad that none of my money contributes. Oh, well, I can't say that because when I buy stuff, who knows where that money is going? When I buy stuff or I go play games, who knows where that money is going? But the taxpayer, we're big time paying for our own demise. When we pay for the wickedness that these people use the money for, we're paying for our own demise. But people are so into Christianity and not understand that that's just a cover for the truth of really who they are and what we are and why we are here. Granted, every word there is not to be taken literally, especially the stories. The stories are not to be taken literally. There is no people particularly, but we kind of misunderstand the point of the story when we put physical man into the story. Because we begin to worship man. That's what he means, but don't worship man, no graven image, because you cannot say what a God is not at this point until you know for sure the whole concept of that ideology. Because as it stands now, we're saying God looks like us, like a man, like a no, they saying a particular man, and in particular, you know what I'm saying? So I know some of my followers are used to this talk, and you already know this talk, but this talk is for those who are canceling out Candace and not understanding that she's growing, but she's actually growing before your eyes. And allow that, because that's a testament to you, to what you having to battle against in life. And now we have to battle against in our country of a miracle. This land is a land of a miracle. And I want to get you the direct definition of what miracle is versus miracle. I already told you the speech, but once you know the definition, you can probably better understand the spiritual connotation behind our creation of our country. That is not that we have more deep spirituality here than any other land, even though we were all one big mass, land mass, ages and ages and ages ago. But before the ice ages. Let's say that. So let's look at Miracle, because I want to tell you all that perhaps that's how America, but we know that our language was different, but miracle meaning. Okay, miracle, an extremely outstanding or unusual event, thing, or an accomplishment is a miracle. It's a miracle. Let me see if I can find the actual meaning for the. I don't know why they did that. They put the I back in there when it is actually a spiritual event. I had it, a divine or supernatural event that defies the laws of nature. The laws of nature, or more broadly, a very surprising, fortunate, or extraordinary occurrence. America has been an extraordinary occurrence. Not surprising, because it took blood, sweat, and tears to produce this country, this great country that we live in. It took a lot to produce. I mean, we had some thick bushes in the middle between New York and here that people feared going through. So we had trade issues, right? So New York, they would trade with France through Canada, and then so that kind of interrupted the North Carolina, the southern trade that we had. That's why I think we had that divide in our country between the North and the South. Yeah, it's so fascinating. And I mean, we got to figure out the truth, because the other day my little 10-year-old daughter, she's very dark-skinned, very beautiful brown-skinned, and she come home and we were looking at numbers, and she said back in the 1300s she would have been known as a slave, which is not true at all, because we had dark-skinned people were looked upon greatly. There was a time, and that's far from the truth, and I don't think they should be teaching that in schools at all, that because of your skin you would have been a slave back then. No. I took you guys to the Freemason area of Norfolk, and I showed you a neighborhood that had actual, they turned it to a mall. That's where the downtown mall is. But before that, they had brownstones where that mall is. And next door was is it called Mason? Was his name Mason? The Mason House? I think it was the Mason House I took you guys to. I always tell you I love that area. But they say they were Jewish. They had slaves. Um, but they also lived next to a whole community of black folks. So I don't know what that was about when I was told that story. I really didn't understand it, conflicting. And then when I go out to, which it's becoming October, it's fall time, and Harbor Fest time. So I might end up going around again to these mansions and these places, because when I went out to one and we went inside the little house that they claim, I forgot how many people lived in that house, and that house looked like only one person could barely stand in it. it was just room enough for one person, but they said a whole bunch of people lived there, slaves. And I'm trying to figure that one out. Were people real tiny? Or what? I just don't get it. It just doesn't make sense. Some things don't. But I just wanted to horn that in on you guys and to put it out in the ether that a miracle has happened, and that has made America. So, with that said, guys, don't be listening to people telling you that they have to come with more than just, oh, we got to do this for the Jews, we got to do that for the Jews to be blessed, because you're already fortunate. I don't like to say blessed because even some of their words are just, you know, not good for our health, mental state or nothing. But to tell you that you're supposed to give money to some people who have just the same God you have in you and the same Christ that we all carry within us, that we have to acknowledge the Christ within us. We were born, yeah, we were already born of the water. We can't go back in our moms and do it over again. No, we've already been born of the water. So it's all about our bodies. The Bible is all about our body. So with that said, listen to yours, take care of yours, and have a lovely, beautiful, sunny, bright day. Till next time, people, peace. Always remember true love, real peace, and the higher self within us, our soul, the Christ, what they call it, the Christ that makes the sacrifice for God to live out this experience. Till next time, peace.